Hi there, my name is Maylin and welcome back to my channel. I am a flutist, teacher, and performer located in the city of Toronto, Canada, and this is my series where we learn how to play the flute from the very beginning. If you haven't seen my videos, be sure to check the playlist that I have on my channel where we start from the very beginning, how to make our first sounds with the head joint, how to put the instrument together, and then in this video we'll be learning how to put our fingers on the instrument and then playing our very first notes. So thank you for joining me, and if you do have any questions throughout the video, be sure to drop them in the comments down below so I can answer them as soon as possible. So with that out of the way, let's just get into the video. Again, if you missed the last video, it goes over how to put the flute together. Be sure to go to that video if you need a refresher or anything. So now that we know how to put the instrument together, I'll be going over how to put your hands on the instrument and how to hold it. So we're going to start again with identifying which hand is which. So again, if you don't remember left and right, just put your index fingers pointing to the sky and then your thumbs pointing inwards. If it makes an L, that's your left. If it doesn't, it's your right. So your right hand, you need to be able to face it outward. So if you don't remember, be sure to wave. That's a good way for you to remember which way your right hand faces. And your left hand is going to be facing towards you. So pretend like you're holding over your heart like you're singing the national anthem. So first of all, we're going to start with our right hand, okay? So on the flute, your right hand is just going to, if you're kind of nervous, you can always just shake it out. And you're just going to place it kind of over the keys like this. So your pinky should be right over the foot joint here, that E flat key. And then you're just going to lead the rest of the hand up naturally. So your fourth finger should go on the key closest to the foot joint. Middle finger's next, and then your forefinger. Your thumb should be right underneath the key, where depending on your hand, it might be in a different place, but make sure it's nice and comfortable and natural. Like where, if you're not quite sure where to put it, just kind of hold the flute down so the keys are facing downwards, and then you're also going to just kind of like droop your hand over, and then see, for me, my finger naturally rests right underneath the first key here. And you want to make sure that you don't hold it like you're sticking out the thumb like this, or maybe you're keep holding it in like this. It's not very good. It's going to really hurt your hands in the future. So what I would highly suggest is that you put it on the fleshy part of your thumb here. So that way all the weight is kind of resting there on your right hand. Now for your left hand, remember, it's going to be like we're singing the national anthem, so facing towards you. You're going to put your first finger, so index finger, on this key. So the first key is here. It's the same one, but this is the one we're going to put our finger on. Skip a key. 2, so your middle finger goes here, your fourth finger will go here, and then you're going to rest your pinky right over the golf club looking one here. That's the A flat key. And then at the back, your thumb should be able to go back and forth between the two levers here. Now the weight should be mostly on the fleshy part of your index finger. So you can see for me already, I kind of have a little bit of a red spot where I rest it. So this is the perfect spot. Now again, if your hands are bigger, smaller, it might be a little bit different. Some people have it a little bit further down here, but for me, it fits perfectly right here on my hand. So I'll kind of just like lead it up there, right underneath that key right here. Kind of push it in there so it's nice and comfortable, and again, it shouldn't be very painful at all. It should be quite comfortable. Eventually, when you're confident, you should be able to hold the flute kind of gently, mostly just with your thumb here, so you can kind of have those covering and maybe just touching the rods there, and then having a majority of the weight on your left hand in that fleshy part. Perfect. So now that you have all your fingers placed on the instrument, we can learn our very first note. So I'm going to put a diagram with the flute fingering chart here. And the first note we're going to be learning is B. So in case you can't read it, it goes from left to right. So it'll be the left hand and then the right hand, just like you play it. For B, if that visual doesn't make sense, I'm just going to lead you through it here. So you're going to have your first finger down, this index finger. You're going to have the biggest key here, pressured at the back, not the one with the golf club. So 1, 2, and then you'll also include the pinky key here on the foot joint. So you should just have those 3. Now, you may have difficulties at the beginning finding that note. So if you're not feeling quite ready, you can always again take off the head joint, go back to the first video, and figure out where you need to put the air. But otherwise, what you're going to do is put the instrument up to your face. You might feel a little bit heavy at first. That's okay. You can take lots of breaks. Do it at your own speed. That's the important part. And what you're going to do is try and find that note. So it should sound something like this. So it might sound a little bit airy at first, maybe a little bit unfocused, but be really calm with yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you can't get it right away. Some people can pick it up very quickly, and some people it takes just a little bit of time. But with perseverance, for sure, you'll be able to get it. And once you're able to play it, be sure to practice it a little bit every day, maybe 5 to 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what your day looks like. Because as you continue to play, you're actually building up the muscles in your embouchure, the muscle memory, just like you do when you're working out. So be sure to keep going at it, even if you're not quite confident at the beginning. Yeah, and now that you can play B, you can also play B flat. So B flat is one of the notes you'll see, especially if you're playing in a band setting. You play B flat major a lot. So B flat is very similar to B. So again, you have the first finger here, the thumb in the back, and also the pinky key. But then you're also going to add the first key on your right hand. So this one here. So it's going to be 1 semitone below B. So this is B. And then B flat, it's going to sound just 1 semitone lower. Perfect. And when you practice, be sure to do them in long tones. So long tones meaning you hold the note for as long as you can without it sounding super airy. Something like that. At the beginning, it might take a lot of breath and you might feel a little bit lightheaded. If you do, be sure to take a break. Come back in a few minutes, get a glass of water. You don't need to be fainting. Again, slow practice over time will help to build up all those muscles, not only again in your embouchure, but also your breath control with your diaphragm. Yeah, and so now you should be able to play B and B flat. So be sure to come back for the next video. We'll be learning a little bit about basic music theory and reading. And if you have any questions or anything, be sure to drop them in the comments down below. And also, if you're interested in lessons, I do teach again in Toronto, or I also do Skype lessons as well. You can check that out on www.maylinjenkins.com. Thanks again so much for watching, and happy fluting!